Hello, this is a video about deploying to Heroku, but this video is special in the way that we're gonna be using Docker and Heroku pipelines to do automated deployments to Heroku. And also, as well as a bonus, we're gonna be using our own domain using Freenom, but it's your private domain is gonna be free for you, and we're gonna be using Freenom and Cloudflare. So stay put. These are the steps. For example, first we're gonna be doing creating the application, then creating a GitHub and pushing, adding in the Heroku files, Docker, and then deploy the pipelines, and then set your private own domain, and then face the problem that we have when we are using a free domain. So you're gonna create it. I will say, hey, no, I don't want to Angular routing. CSS for me is fine. So it's installing the packages. So once the application is just installed here with generate new application, we got the folder here. See the application running. All right, it will take a while, a couple of seconds. I will pause the video for a second so you see, you don't have to waste your time just watching at this loading. So again, we see the application here. It's running on my localhost for 4000, right? I have my application. You see Angular 1994, example on Heroku with pipelines, right? So it's gonna be Angular 1995, right? 1994. So again, I just create my repository. I will just connect my branch, my remote repository to my local, right? So I will do copy and then paste here. Okay, so just push origin master. Great. All right, so you see now we are going to be checking again on GitHub. We see so beautiful. So now let's remember, we're gonna be deploying pipelines, but we are gonna be using Docker, right? But if you don't know Docker, what I just suggest you is how you can put here how to no, you say Angular Docker file, right? So once you Google like Angular Docker files, they will give you one Docker file that you can put it on your application. Then you just run. It's just like magic. But because I already have my Docker file for my Angular, so I will just copy and paste my Docker file, right? So first, let me put here. I'm gonna be adding a Docker file. Docker file, right? And this is my Docker file, right? Add a Docker ignore as well, because the Docker ignore is something like this. Docker ignore, something similar here. And let me just copy and paste all of this here, right? Okay, so now I just complete the Docker installation for the application. So let me see if my application can run inside Docker. So how I do it, I will, okay, Docker build -t test 1 2 3, and but again we're gonna be deploying a Docker container to Heroku. And the beauty about doing this like this is you can deploy any other container to Heroku just using another container. I mean, you can just swap the Docker file and you can do the same thing that you can do in pipelines, right? So it's like you can translate the same knowledge and the same expertise to another application. Maybe it is Python, maybe it is Java. You can use a Java container and just put our application in Java, right? So let's wait here till it's solved. So one thing to know that I got an error here. I was trying to take all the distribution files that you get when you do npm build, right? So by default, the new version of Angular is just pushing all the files to this folder. I will talk. So how I knew, I just go to this file, angular.js, and I just output path, and I just copy this file, this line of code, I mean this output path to this here. Again, the build. I will pause the video. Okay, here we can see that we have successfully built this Docker container, and then we're going to run our application inside the container. The application is starting, and we can see here. So we can see our application is running inside a container. You can see, all right? If I refresh, this is the application. I just run the -b, right? It's just to test the application, right? Anyways, again, not much detail on that because this is not the purpose of the video, but I'm gonna close and I'm gonna see here the application stop working, right? Just stop working. So now that we see the Docker working, let's add the Heroku YML file. It has to be in the roof of the thing here. Where is it? Okay. And we are going to add, let's see, this is Heroku YML file. Second file, we're gonna copy this thing. Then change the file name. And then inside this file name, we're gonna just add a new line here. New line of code. So again, we add the Heroku YML and we add the Heroku, the dockerfile.heroku. It's only for Heroku, right? Just push it. So let's do Heroku pipelines, right? So what is Heroku Pipeline? Heroku Pipeline allows you to, whenever you are pushing to a branch, you get a deployment, okay? A new pipeline, right? So the pipeline will be named Angular 1994, right? Angular 1994, right? So here I will look for Angular. I will say Angular 1994, connect this one, and just create pipeline, right? You have to connect your account, right? And there you go. So I will just add here, create new app. My thing is not available, but let's say Angular, say 5 here, right? Angular 1995. And then choose the region, United States, create application here. What is this release to? I don't know. And then I will go to the application here. And I will set settings here. Automatic deployments, pipeline. Where is it? Exactly, I will say, hey, whenever you get a master, enable automatic deployment, right? So I will go to deploy here inside the application. We will do deploy in the button here. See, it's connected. The button will see deploy branch, right? So let's see what's happening here, right? So it's building a logs here, logs. So right now it's a deploy to Heroku. It just works, but your app was successfully deployed. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, so if you go here, we can see the activity. You see it was deployed, but we want to see the logs here, view logs. So it's a state change crash right here. Okay. The problem is we are having some problem with the application because it's trying to deploy a Heroku app, but we are trying to deploy a container, right? So let's go and first to change the add to container, right? You see a stack. It should say container here, right? So I will have to change this. How I do it? I do it using the command line, right? First, I have to install Heroku on my computer. I'm using Ubuntu, so I'm using this article here, how to install Heroku CLI, download for Mac, Windows. For Ubuntu, I'm using Ubuntu, so I did this command, I pasted in, and then I just do Heroku logging, right? Heroku logging, and I will do Heroku logging here, and here, saying, hey, you logging here, it's logging, and then you logging, and you can see at the back here, okay? So I log in, and then after I log in, I have to execute this other command, which is Heroku Stack column, right? Set container, right? And then minus minus app, the name of the application. So since it changed, so let's go back to the application to see if it's changed. Remember, right now we have container, right? So it will replace container on the next run, right? So again now, because it will replace, so I need to deploy again, right? You just pause the video because it's too much waiting for this. So again, I got the information that my app doesn't contain the Heroku YML. So let's push the Heroku YML. So I will do this git status, git push origin master. So it will automatically start building here because I enabled the automatic deployments. So I should wait for a second here. See master, I just push to master. Here should be deploy again. I will just deploy it. So now it's kind of deploy there here. And if we can see here the settings, it's container. That's fine here. Right, and then let's go to deploy. Still should be deploying. You can see activity. Just now, building, view process. So here you can see it's running ng build, which is a good sign. So again, once it's finished, you can see our application just work, right? The application is just deployed, right? So now we just deploy a container, an Angular container to Heroku, which is just adding this Heroku file, right, with 3 lines of code, and the Docker file dot Heroku, just adding this line to the Docker file, right? So let's go and try to add our custom domain, right? So how we can do your free on the domain, right? So I will go to Freenom. Okay, go to Freenom. This is the Freenom that will give you a custom domain for free. Okay, so I will sign in. And then I will just use it. And if you are going to register a new domain, you will just create new domain here. You will, so let's say Angular 1994. You can do checkout nets. Let's say you this one, and then you go and check out. Just leave it as it is. Just select the month here. But right now I will not select if you wanted 12 months free. I don't want to just continue with this because I already bought it. So I will put my current domain. Let me just go here to my domains. So this is my domain. I just Angular 1994. I will copy and we'll go to Heroku page, right? The Heroku page is here. In Heroku, I will go to the application settings and will add my domain here. Okay, back to domain and then add a new domain, www. Right? Okay, so great. So on my domain, I need to go, I need to change name server, use my domain server, right? And then here, manage Freenom DNS. Then I will try to put this www. It's a CNAME. It just work. And then I just should be able to see already my application. It will take a couple of minutes and something. But the problem is when we're going to do the root domain. When you're going to do the root domain, for some reason, say you have to put this add here, the CNAME, it doesn't allows you to do it, right? See, it's a wildcards not allowed. For this problem, we have to use Cloudflare just to add this. So how to use Cloudflare? Let me just go back and then I say, hey, I will use name server. We'll use the custom one. And I have to put the Cloudflare domains here. Wait a second. So again, here I have to create my application, just sign up, create my application, and then in DNS here, I have to create one, the same DNS that is asking here, right? I will ask new record, and then here I will add, and then I will put here. So here I already created, you can see, I have to CNAME, the root one, and www, right? And basically that's it. I have to use the DNS, the Cloudflare name server. Let's say here, I have to put this one, And the second name server is going to be this one. And basically that's it. That's why here I am not able to go this because it's a name server. And then if I go to this URL, cross fingers. Yeah, but anyways, it should take sometimes, right? But basically that's it, guys. It just works. Let's check why I have this error, DNS error by Cloudflare, some error by Cloudflare. So first I'm gonna be doing here on Cloudflare here. I'm gonna be checking the DNS here, Lina, Line, and Rudy. So I will check Lina and Rudy. And as well, I will check again this, I will copy this DNS here that I have. The DNS, you see Heroku. I will copy this DNS here, from here to this one. Make sure this is the same one. You can see here we have the orange, silver, and it seems to be the same one here, right? Copy this one here and just save it. And then the second one is this one, experimental lemon, which you see the experimental lemon here. All right, experimental lemon, Heroku. And that should be, I save it and save it. And then if I just refresh here, it just works. Great.